it's sort of the same idea that I have with my relationship with my clients and how much I love taking care of them. I love seeing, other agents in our company succeed.
Mm-hmm.
When you see their growth and, through some coaching and some mentorship and things that I do for those agents, to watch them start to thrive.
Yeah.
And especially in a tough market, that's super rewarding too, because it's finally like, hey, what you're doing is working.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Is there one piece of advice that you would give them or that you do give them in that sort of mentorship role?
Stay patient. Yep. I mean,
Emily knows I'm a very patient person, so that's good.
That's not the vibe I'm getting from that.
No, not at all.
Welcome to YMI Talking, a podcast where the guests are so good, you'll wonder why the host is even talking. In each episode, you will hear one of the leaders of the Lehigh Valley's vibrant business hub. They will tell you the keys to their success, the mistakes they've made, and what they have in store for the future. Here is the host of YMI Talking, from YMI Insurance, Jimmy Honachik.
All right, that is me, Jimmy Honachik, and this is another YMI Talking episode, and I am joined, as always, by Emily Ellis.
Hi.
How are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. It's been a while since you and I have sat down and done one of these. And most people wouldn't know that because they see these come out every 2 weeks.
Right.
But we don't film them that way. We just kind of do them in bulk, and then I start texting you madly and saying, we need people on the episode right now. But this one is going to be a good one.
Yeah, definitely. He's our second-time guest.
I couldn't think of a good way to say that.
I know.
Like
two-time.
Yeah, two-timer. Hey, you're our first two-timer. But I guess that's it. All right, two-timer. That's what we're going to say from now on. But yes, he is our first two-timer, and he was great, as always. And he's hosting a TV show now.
I know, that's really cool.
That is really cool.
When I was doing research on him, I saw that, and I was like, wow. And I was looking into it, and I obviously couldn't find anything yet because it hasn't come out yet. But that's like super exciting. Yeah.
Like I joked about, no one's making TV shows about insurance agents.
They should.
Right? Yeah. I feel like it'd be a lot like The Office.
That's what I was going to say. It's like a mockumentary. Yeah.
Yes. Maybe we're onto something here. Well, let's dive into the episode. This is Frank Mastroianni. He is a local realtor with Better Homes and Gardens, and he is absolutely the top of his game. This episode's so good. Can't wait to jump into it. All right. Thanks, Emily.
Thank you.
Bye. I'm so excited for this episode because I've always wondered when it would happen, when we got our first, two-time guest. And I couldn't be happier with our two-time guest. Frank Mastroianni, you are, I want to use the word legend in the Lehigh Valley. You are so well known. You are everywhere. You are now a TV host. Like, so much has changed since you were on here last time.
For sure.
And I want to hear all about it. So, Frank, welcome back. Thanks for coming on.
And thanks for having me. Excited to be back.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the TV show. Let's dive right in there. You are a TV host.
I am officially a TV host for American Dream TV, American Dream Media. They're out of San Diego, but they're a national company, and they do this in almost every market. And just got the opportunity to sign up to represent the Lehigh Valley. So I'm excited. That's
super exciting. Tell us what this is. What are you going to be doing?
Yeah. So it's a show that was created about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And their whole concept is it's focused on real estate agents, but they get the opportunity to talk about not just the real estate, but the lifestyle and what's unique and what's cool about the area that they work and live in. So for me, it's not just selling Lehigh Valley. It's why is the Lehigh Valley a cool place to live?
Yeah.
So I get to highlight all the different things that I think are unique and exciting about the Lehigh Valley and surrounding areas.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I mean, that's kind of what inspired this show here, right? There's so much great things happening here in the Lehigh Valley. But now you have a national platform to go ahead and tell people about that.
Yes. Yeah. It's pretty cool. And it's full on, top tier production on the back end. And, if you go and check out some of the episodes and some of the things they do, it's really neat stuff, but they give us the freedom to pick what we want to feature. So it's on us from a creative standpoint, which I'm super excited about because I have a million ideas already that I'm running with. And I'm actually filming my first episode in 2 days on Friday.
Get out.
Yes.
All
and we're going to feature Steel Stacks, Arts Quest, and Music Fest.
Wow.
That's what my first episode's going to be. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, because Music Fest is happening. That's
exactly
great. By the time this episode airs, Music Fest will have happened.
Perfect.
But that's really, really cool. Have you talked to Music Fest or Arts Quest?
Yeah, luckily I have a relationship with Kurt Moselle, who is the COO there, and he kind of operates and runs and Music Fest, especially in Levin Pavilion, and the free shows are kind of his baby.
Yeah.
So I reached out to him right away as soon as I knew I was getting the show. I'm like, this is the perfect first episode.
100%.
He's got experience doing stuff like this. So I'm actually meeting with his team later today to kind of go over logistics and plan out Friday.
Wow. And what a perfect opportunity to showcase, one of the best parts of the Lehigh Valley. Music Fest is such a big deal, even though Emily has never gone to it.
I haven't. No, this will be my first year. I just
You're going to go though, right?
Yes.
Okay,
definitely.
good. That's really cool. So how do you turn that? Do you turn that into talking about real estate, or is it really just showcasing the Lehigh Valley?
It can be both.
Yeah.
Again, that's up to me on how I kind of want to work it in.
Yeah.
Some agents do. If they have a unique listing or they have something that they want to feature, they will tie it in to their episode. So that's kind of just going to be on a case-by-case basis.
Makes a lot of sense.
And right now, I think, especially with the first episode, I kind of want to just talk about the history, Bethlehem Steel, everything that's happened over there, and then kind of tie that into why it's so neat to live over in Bethlehem. If you're considering living in, a city or something like that, why that's unique.
I'm so excited for this episode to come out. When will I be able to watch it?
So it depends on when it gets, all cut up, edited, and put together. So I'm hoping it's going to air either sometime in late August or early September.
Okay. And where can I watch it when it's done?
So lots of different platforms. So it just depends. Locally, based off of whoever your cable provider is, there's Samsung TV, there's Roku TV, Tubi Free TV. They have their YouTube channel. So through ADTV or through any of those streaming services, you'll be able to find the episode. And sometimes if you're lucky, you can get picked to air on the national episode.
Oh, get out.
So yeah, everything that you film gets edited down to a 5-minute segment in a 30-minute show.
Okay.
So then if they like your segment and they think it's cool, they could tie it into their nationally aired show, which airs on HGTV and the Travel Channel.
Wow, that is awesome. That's very, very cool. Do you, I feel like starting with Music Fest, I'm pulling for you. I think you're going to get on this national one.
I'm trying to go big on the first one.
Yeah. That's got to help your brand so much, right? Like your personal brand. Obviously, I think you're very well known in Lehigh Valley. You've done a great job, but I feel like this takes it up to a whole nother level.
Absolutely. And that was what excited me about it. I love doing video. I do fun, exciting listing videos and other content for my socials already. So this was a perfect fit. And I think that's kind of how they targeted me, because they actually, found me, their production company, did some research. They knew they wanted to break into this area, and they actually reached out to me and said, do you want to come in and interview, for this opportunity? So it's definitely going to help me elevate my brand, get a little more exposure than what I have now, and in a unique way.
Yeah.
Not everybody can say that, along with what they do professionally in the real estate world, they get to be a TV host.
100%.
So there's definitely opportunities as much as I leverage that, outside of just the episode. I'm going to have a crew from my office come and do behind the scenes footage during filming my episode so that I can make content, leading up to the episode airing. And I'm going to do a watch party, right? And have, sponsors and people come to that when the episode airs, things like that. So there's lots of cool stuff that you can do. And it gives me an opportunity to connect with people, businesses, and all kinds of things, throughout the Lehigh Valley and the surrounding areas too, that I might not have a great connection with now.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for someone to start the insurance agency TV show. I don't know why no one's done that yet.
All right.
But let's talk about that. I say all the time that our industries are polar opposites of each other, in the sense that like yours is sexy and you can put it on Instagram, you can make a TV show out of it. No one wants to watch what we do. And then you do a deal and you get, it's a nice commission as a realtor. It's a big deal. Ours are a big deal, but we get tiny little commissions. Sure. So walk me through, what it is about the real estate industry in particular that kind of drives you.
For me, it's the passion of working and knowing I'm helping and guiding, and I'm a resource to the people, to the clients. It's definitely a relationship business, at least the way that I've built mine.
Yeah.
And that's really important to me, because it's a big deal. Most people, this is the largest asset they're ever going to have. So knowing that I'm the one that's helping guide them, that I'm their resource, that they trust me, that I'm going to get the job done. I'm going to do the right thing and do it the right way. That's what drives me every day. I mean, it's great because you get to see the feedback, not just in the commissions and your sales volume and stuff like that, but when you get the referral, and you get the nice testimonial, or they call you and they thank you, or, you get the picture of them celebrating a kid's first birthday in the house. Like things like that are just as important to me, obviously, as the monetary side of it. And that's what really pushes me to keep going and making sure that I'm still doing it the right way. And I'm still keeping those relationships with my clients. That's where all my business comes from. It comes from the referrals. It comes from building it the way that I did. So it's super important to me to continue to do it that way.
And it sounds like, you've done it the right way, and you're really kind of seeing the fruits of that. Like with this TV show, like I feel like people have identified that there's good realtors, and let's say there's less than good realtors.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yes, and you definitely fit the bill in terms of the quality that you're doing, but also walking people through it and being their kind of advisor.
Exactly, and that's really what we are. Our license says salesperson, but I've never thought of myself as a salesperson.
Yeah. I
think we are advisors, we're resources, we're guides, we're educators. Sometimes we're therapists. It can be stressful. There can be things that seem to be falling apart, and you have to be the one that stays calm and keeps everybody kind of cool headed and just say, how do we work to the solution here to keep this deal together? So it's important to understand that aspect of it too. There's so much that happens behind the scenes that not a lot of people see. That we're juggling with a lender, we're juggling with an appraisal issue, something comes up on an inspection, things that you can almost always work through. But in that moment, it can be like a panic, like, oh my God, like how did this happen? Like, how did it appraise for that? You can usually work it out. But I think it's important in those moments to know that you're confident in navigating through that for your client. Because if you seem to panic as the agent, it's just going to make it worse for them.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You mentioned like a lot. You guys do so much as realtors, and I feel like not everyone sees that and appreciates that.
For sure.
And a lot has changed in the industry since you were on here last time.
Yes.
Talk us through, I guess, the lawsuit, what happened, and what you're seeing in the industry now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, what ended up happening was that there was a large group that recognized that things might not be operating on the most ethical level. And I think some of it was unintentional. Some of it was just agents maybe not being trained right by the brokerages that they're working for, or just not being clear in how they were disclosing and explaining how things work when it came down to the commissions and fees and things within contracts. So, basically the class action lawsuit came out that sellers were like, we didn't understand, how it worked, and that the commission we were paying out was also going to the buyer's agent. That was the big deal. So, when everything got ruled on and the rules changed on us, this is the way it's been operating for forever. And now we kind of had to pivot, where in the end of it, it hasn't changed that much, but we just have to be very careful with how we're disclosing what's being paid out, and sellers, I think, also assumed that meant, oh, I don't have to pay X amount of commission anymore. Commission's always been negotiable. That's one thing that I think people miss. Certain agents are like, this is the commission I'm going to work for. But now it's almost separated a little bit, where a seller can look at a contract and say, okay, I'm paying you, Frank, as my listing agent, X amount. If they feel that's fair, if they agree with what I'm asking for, great. We've negotiated that part of it. Now there's a separate part broken out where it's, what do you want to offer to the buyer agent, if anything at all? Where before it used to be lumped, where I would get a listing contract for X amount and I would automatically say, this much of it I'm offering out to the buyer's agent. So now it's sort of split a little bit, where the seller is more knowledgeable about what the full commission is going to. So in that way, I like it because it's better disclosure. But I think the assumption's been out there now that sellers are like, well, I don't have to pay the buyer agent. The problem with that is, in 95% of the scenarios, a buyer is already bringing down payment, their own closing costs to the table. They honestly don't have the cash to pay their agent. They want to be represented on their side because they want somebody that's responsible for their side of it, not going to the listing agent whose fiduciary responsibilities are to a seller. They want their own representation. So it's hard for a buyer to come up with that extra money on top of what they're paying. Normally the seller is the one sitting on the equity, right? It's just coming out of their net number in the house. So what we're seeing is, most of the time, that buyer agent commission is still being negotiated, and it's still being considered part of the deal. Whether the seller's willing to offer it up front or it's being presented as part of the offer. It varies at each deal now. But what we're seeing is, for the most part, buyers are not just paying their own buyer agent. And I think that's where they thought it was going to go after the lawsuits. It hasn't necessarily gone that way. But from my standpoint, I just like that there's more clear disclosure about how the commissions are operating.
Yeah, no, that it is great. I'm going to ask you a question. I've heard an answer from a lot of realtors. I'm curious your opinion. Do you prefer representing a seller or a buyer?
I think I have a unique stance on this.
Okay.
The cookie cutter answer, I think, for most people is like, once you get to a certain level of business, you just want to focus on listings.
Correct.
Right. I've never looked at it that way. And I think it goes back to what I said before about the relationships are really important to me. And the best way to build a real relationship with a client is when they're a buyer, to be honest, because you're out there showing homes, right? You're talking to them almost every day. And that's really where you develop that connection. When you're just listing someone's home, there's that initial, conversation about it. There's the initial appointments. There's the marketing in the beginning, but then you're kind of separated from them, right? Because it's all happening behind the scenes when it's a listing. So I don't try to dictate whether I'm focused on one or the other. For me, it's who's being referred to me, where is the business coming from, and then what can I do to take care of them?
Frank, what's it like to be a good human being?
Most days.
As someone who doesn't know, I'm just really curious what that's like.
Oh, come on.
Tell us about the market itself. I know when we met last, it was the hottest market that we've ever seen, possibly. And now, where are we? Is it still as hot as it was?
In some ways, yes.
Okay.
It's definitely shifting a little bit, which we knew, I think, eventually was always going to happen. It couldn't always be 2021, 2022. Like, that was definitely chaotic times.
Yeah.
And there was a reason for that. It was the push after COVID and the limited inventory. And that's the part we're still seeing is the same. We're super limited on inventory.
Wow.
It's actually getting worse.
Really?
So we look at absorption rate. So we look at how much inventory is available. And a balanced market where it's pretty even between buyers and sellers is 6 months worth of inventory is out there. Right now we have less than 1 month's worth of inventory.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's crazy. It's crazy low. The problem is people aren't moving in the timeline they thought they were.
Right.
Because the prices have significantly increased over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And everybody's sitting on a 2.5% or a 3% interest rate.
Yeah.
So they're trying
I'm
to
literally
justify
never moving
in their
Yes.
Exactly. There you go. That's the hardest thing. So there's people that always have to move. Job relocation, divorce, that's not always the best reason. A lot of it is people downsizing, right? Where they just want the cash out. They're not worried about rates.
Yeah.
But that's very limited on how much inventory is out there. And there's still a ton of demand on the buy side because there's enough people that are like, I still want to own a home. I know it's smart to own a home.
Yeah.
Whether they're renting or they just outgrew the house they're in. There's people that have to make a move. But we're seeing a lot more people, because they have the equity they have, maybe borrowing against that and doing an addition or doing upgrades instead of making the move from their 5 to 10 year home. So it's that challenge right now of where is the business coming from? Like, we need more inventory.
Yeah.
There's not enough new construction to offset it either. We just don't have enough land. There's not enough being built in Lehigh Valley.
What's causing the lack of inventory? Is it boomers? Are they just not?
Well, a lot of boomers are staying in their houses longer. Yep. They're living longer. They're staying longer. They're in a really good financial situation. So they don't necessarily need to pull that equity, to make their next phase of life move. So that's a big part of it as well. But, for the most part, it's just people sucking it up because they don't think it's a good financial decision to give up a 2.5% or a 3% interest rate, even though they're probably squeezed in their house, right? They want to make that move up. That's one of the biggest challenges right now.
Yeah.
Is their boomers aren't listing their forever homes so that the people have something to move up to. And then those people are like, well, if there's nothing good out there, I'm not going to just move to move. Yeah. So it's causing this very tight squeeze.
How do you have that conversation with the buyer who is worried about high interest rates or the high value of a home?
Yeah. I mean, what I tell my clients is if the move is right for you right now, let's do it. There's never a bad time from that standpoint to make the move because it's what you need. If the numbers work, if you can afford it, right, make the move because the thing that can happen is you're going to already have the home you want. And then when the rates do come back down, you can refinance because you're already in the home, right? As long as it works for you financially right now, don't wait. Because if you wait till the rates come down, you're going to get the chaos that we got back in 2021, 2022, because everybody's going to want to move now.
Right.
So you're going to have the competition. Prices are going to have gone up over that time. So it's not really going to save you any money, but you could be sitting in your home that you've owned for 2 years now and then refinance down to the 5% or the 4% rate when we get there.
Yeah.
And not have to worry about the chaos of the market and all the competition.
Right.
And having to go over appraised value and pay seller fees and all the crazy stuff buyers have been doing.
Has that changed at all? Buying over asking, all cash, no inspection.
It depends. So
okay.
If agents are smart with how they're listing a home, list prices is literally a marketing strategy right now. So if they're listing a home a little aggressive, it's causing that chaos still because of the limited inventory.
Right.
But if they're just giving into a seller that has some absurd number in their head because they want to put a sign in the yard, houses are sitting. So that's where it's shifted a little bit, where buyers are getting a little more savvy, where they're like, I don't want to go crazy over. They're like, this number already seems high. And then the urgency's gone.
Yeah.
But if you list a home on the aggressive side of a list price, buyers are like, oh crap, this is going to be gone in 2 days. So that's when you can still see those very ideal terms and price for your seller, is if you price it right to start.
Interesting. Better Homes and Garden. How is life there? When we talked last time, I mean, it sounded like things were good. You are focused on your agent, developing a culture. How has that changed? How is it still kind of the same?
It's wonderful. I mean, we are in growth mode for sure.
Yeah.
Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate Valley Partners is on the map. I mean, we're growing in a really healthy way. We're bringing in great agents that appreciate what we're doing. And I think that's making us stand out. The market has changed so much. Agents are struggling, because there's not as much market share.
Right.
So they're looking to change and they're looking for something different. And I think we really offer that. The amount of agent support, the amount of things we do on the back end for our agents that nobody else is doing is setting us apart, and people are seeing that. And it's not just the new agents. It's not anything like that. We're getting big time producers. We just onboarded a pretty big team. That was the first team that we brought in. So now there's other teams being like, oh, there's a platform for teams there.
Yeah.
And it's been all organic. We don't have an in-house recruiter.
Right.
It's just us as the leadership team and, the ownership, Steve and Renee, who are incredible. And, they're just doing what they do and they appreciate the people, and that shows.
Yeah. How do you convince a team to move over? I feel like that's got to be a tough sell.
Sure. It's definitely tricky.
Yeah.
And again, for us, what we've realized is we don't want anybody. So we need them to see the value that we bring to the table. The support that we're offering a team, it is just like the individual agent, but it just helps them run their business, or the team lead run his team smoother, because there's things he doesn't have to put in place on his own when it comes to transaction coordination and a full marketing team and things like that. We have that in-house for them.
Yeah.
So they don't have to pay that out of their own pocket. They can structure their team the way they want and run it. But with our support, it's just an extra layer that they don't have to go and find on their own.
Yeah. How did you build out that team? How did you get it to where it is now? And how do you continue to see it in the future?
Yeah. I mean, it took time, it was finding the right people, and seeing the vision and seeing what we saw for the future of the brokerage, and we've always wanted to grow, but we knew the way to do that was with the right leadership team behind us. So, Melissa in our marketing department is a rock star. Becky, we joke, we call Becky the vice president of everything, because she's literally involved with like all the things on the back end.
Yeah.
And she also runs the transaction coordination department. So it's super important to have those people that love being there and are passionate about what we're doing. They're passionate about the agents, and you're just seeing it come through. Yeah.
And you're still as passionate as ever.
I do. I try.
Yeah.
It's not every day, but no, but for sure. I do love it. And for me, it's sort of the same idea that I have with my relationship with my clients and how much I love taking care of them. I love seeing, other agents in our company succeed. When you see their growth and, through some coaching and some mentorship and things that I do for those agents, to watch them start to thrive, and especially in a tough market, that's super rewarding too, because it's finally like, hey, what you're doing is working. Yeah. Keep going.
Is there one piece of advice that you would give them, or that you do give them in that sort of mentorship role?
Stay patient. Yep. I mean,
Emily knows I'm a very patient person, so that's good.
That's not the vibe I'm getting from that.
No, not at all.
But it's hard, right?
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you're trying to grow something, there's pressure on us every day. I mean, I just read something the other day where it's like, don't forget that agents because we're 100% commission, we're 1099, we wake up unemployed every day.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's a good way to look at
Yeah.
it. And that can be stressful.
For sure.
Depending on the situation for the agent, do they have a family they're supporting? Like, what did they put into this? What is their why?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they in this business? And, from a coaching standpoint, just to try to keep them calm and say, what can you do today to help your business? Right. Don't panic. It's tough for everybody.
Right.
You're not doing something wrong. Like you get in your head.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's the mental side of it that's super important to keep agents engaged and say, just keep doing what you're doing and you'll see it pay off.
It's a lot, I think, like commercial sales for us, essentially, where the tail on a sale can be really long. Like you're working on it for a long time.
Sure.
And then finally you can breathe once you get there. But how does a new agent, build up, like, what are they trying to do? Like build up their contacts? Like, how are they trying to make it so they can start producing and not be unemployed?
Yeah. I mean, you have to understand that your sphere is your key,
Mm-hmm.
Who you already know, and then who you're going out and meeting.
Yeah.
Right. Because a lot of times people don't realize that you're a brand new agent or you're not. It just depends on how you talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And, brand new agents can succeed quickly if they have a good sphere or they're willing to put themselves out there, whether it's farming neighborhoods or going to networking events or just doing anything they can to get their name out there.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Gould, the owner, managing broker, my mentor, he jokes about this all the time. He goes, to a big degree, real estate is just a popularity contest, right? Everybody probably knows 4 or 5 realtors.
Yeah.
And that's definitely what it is. So what are you doing to make yourself stand out?
Yeah.
And that's where I think, marketing, social media, branding, I think is so important for the future of realtors' success, because you have to make yourself stand out. It's super competitive right now, but you have all these platforms to do that. So if you're taking that time to get your name out there, to put good content out there too, you can be a brand new agent, but if you're putting good content out there, people are going to be like, I want to follow that person. I want to hear more of what they have to say.
Right.
So that's important.
Can we talk about your content for a second?
Sure.
When you were on last, I said it was really good, and that's because it is really good. But I feel like just recently it took a huge step up. Like the videos you are producing are insane and make me want to buy a second house, even though my bank account tells me I can't do that.
You probably shouldn't.
Yeah. How are you making these?
It's time consuming, it's what you realize. I mean, you have it with this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have to put a lot of time into creating good content.
Yeah.
I still think there's a lot more I need to be doing, right? I have a whole list. I have things I want to get to when it comes to more videos I want to do, and more content I want to put out. I love doing my listing videos. Like that's super fun.
Yeah.
I've been able to think outside the box and do some fun, creative stuff.
They're insane. It's like a Hollywood production watching these things.
And listen, I have an awesome videographer and he does the editing. So I will give Anthony Andrew, he's AA Aerial Imaging, all the credit in the world.
There we go.
He's my rock star when it comes to that stuff. But we vibe together. Like we come up with all these cool, fun, new ideas. He always wants to try something new with the next video. We have, some fun ideas that, we're going to roll out that we haven't seen anybody do yet.
That's awesome.
With the next couple listings I have coming up. So I think that's what you do. You got to kind of keep yourself ahead. And it's flattering to me because I see other people kind of copying and doing the things I've been doing in my videos. Yeah. So I'm like, that's pretty cool. Like obviously I'm doing something right, but I have fun with it. So it's great.
You are doing something right. It's fun to watch. We are running out of time, which kills me and makes me sad because this has been great. We have 2 things we need to do. The first, and I've warned every guest this season about it ahead of time, but I didn't warn you. So
oh boy,
get ready. Our sponsor this season is Zcraft. So they got a location in Center Valley. They have a location at the airport. You go there, you grab a cup of coffee and you have a sip. But sometimes in life, sip happens. Something goes wrong. Something embarrassing happens. And what was a time where a sip happened to you, Frank?
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Got to think about this one. There's plenty of them.
I've realized like if I ever got asked this question, I don't get embarrassed very easily. So it would be really hard for me to answer. My children are always trying to embarrass me.
That's a good trait to have if something doesn't embarrass you. I mean, it's hard for me too. I mean, there's definitely one thing that comes to mind. This was actually somewhat recently. Was I showed up at the complete wrong property to show a client. So I had a list of homes to show them.
Yeah.
but it was kind of a funny interaction because I'm sitting there waiting and they're like, well, we don't see you. And I'm like, well, I don't see you. And like, I was literally walking around the house. I'm like, are you guys in the backyard, like checking out the yard? And they were at a house on the other side of town. So that's off the top of my head.
That's pretty good.
Kind of a funny, goofy moment.
Yeah.
We could laugh about it after.
Right.
But it was just, the brain fart of, I literally told them the right house to go to. I was the one that showed up at the wrong one.
I really enjoy like both of you being very confident and being like, I'm in the front yard. No, I'm in the front yard.
I was like, am I going crazy? Like, you guys are not here.
Yes.
But again, when you have a good relationship with them, you can make it a joke. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, that's fun. All right. Anything that we didn't hit that we should hit? Anything you want to talk about that I didn't bring up?
No, I don't think so. I mean, just, keep an eye out for the TV show. I'm super excited about that. And, some more content and stuff that I'm working on. I want to get a YouTube channel going and some things just to put educational stuff out there.
Yeah.
Whether it's for the consumer or for the agent. So I'm kind of working on all that stuff right now.
That's awesome. If you have success with that, please let us know. That's something I've wanted to do. And it's time consuming, like you said.
It is. It really is. Trying to squeeze all that in when you're running. And obviously it's important to be in front of clients, but this is how you kind of build for the future is how I'm looking at it. So you got to be consistent with it. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, the show is American Dream TV.
Yep.
And you can find it on Tubi, Roku, Samsung, anywhere you're streaming, basically.
Yeah, and hopefully HGTV and the Travel Channel if I do a really cool segment.
Definitely on HGTV and the Travel segment. HGTV, if you're listening, there's no way this one can't end up on the national one. This is too good of an episode. Arts Quest, Music Fest are too awesome.
Yep.
It's going to be great.
Too. I get a media pass because I'm a TV host now.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to do some behind the scenes maybe, during Music Fest and stuff like that too to get some footage there.
Very cool. Yeah. Well, you will see me stumbling through Music Fest, I'm sure.
Perfect.
Awesome. Frank, I'm so glad you were the first two-time guest.
I didn't know that I was the first one. I'm excited.
That's awesome. This has been great. I really appreciate you coming back.
Yeah, thanks again.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the YMI Talking podcast. If you enjoyed this and want to hear more content from amazing personalities in the Valley, please subscribe, leave a rating, and drop us a quick review.